Back on ESPN on the Watch ESPN app, Dave Vincent catching this Andy Rousseau, Dan Armijo men's semifinals of the 40-plus senior bracket in New York at the NYAC, where we will get these guys right on the court here on ESPN, where the winner will be in the finals to face either Andy Shad or his counterpart, Chris Watkins. Right now, though, it's Andy Rousseau, who actually had this incredible match against Danny Bell earlier today in the 50s. We really thought that Danny Bell would come into that round of 8 and go in against Dan Armijo in this match, but it just really didn't happen because he got stunned by Andy Rousseau. And now we have our referee, JT Hingy, going to get this one underway. One game match of 25 here in the men's semifinals of the 40 plus. Following this, it will be Chris Watkins and Andy Shad.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got the senior race for 8 first match. Serving first game, or excuse me, serving first half is going to be Dan Armijo. And retrieving serve, he'll be serving after halftime, is Andy Rousseau. All right, this is going to be the 1 game to 25, break at 15. Play ball, 0 serve 0.
Armijo gonna step in first here. 1 game to 25, win by 2. Nice dig right there from Andy Rousseau.
I saw a slide ball.
Referee said he saw a slide, but
0 serve 0.
Armijo was serving, so
point.
That's the craziest slide I've seen.
One serve 0. Point.
And Rousseau has his second point here.
Two serve 0. Side out. Zero serves 2.
Big back wall set up there for
Replay.
Armijo. Rousseau
Check
gets
ball,
his big
please.
body in the way, and now it's a replay. 0 serves
Check
2.
ball, Dan.
Dan Armijo, current 50 and over world champion, serving the ball here.
It's a replay. 0 serves 2. Point.
Ball looked like it slid just a little bit. No call from the referee. Point, Dan Armijo.
1 serves 2.
Nice dig right there from Rousseau. Armijo keeps the rally alive here. And a round of applause. I don't know if that's a sympathy applause or what that is.
You need a towel down there, Andy?
That was amazingly fun right there. What a great rally. And Rousseau dives in and just dips it in before it gets to the front wall.
All right, that was a point. Score is 2, serving 2. Side out. Two, serving 2. Point. Three, serving 2. Short.
Who's on the line? Just so I know.
We got Luis. My other one's not up here. Andy, can you line stretch? Okay, we got the 2 Cordovas. It's a second serve, 3 serving 2.
Those both there right there, can they split up?
You see Rousseau here really just trying to find out who exactly is the
one
ones that are
serve.
judging him at the moment, because he needed to know who the line judges were. Wasn't defined earlier, but
Point. Four, serving 2. Short. Second serve. Side out. Two, serving 4. Short. Second serve. Point. Three, serving 4.
score 3-4. Armijo here coming in as a favorite on paper, but the Cinderella story of this 40-plus
Point.
bracket has been Andy Rousseau, who defeated Danny Bell in the opening round of 8.
Four, serving 4. Five, serving 4. Side out. Four, serving 5.
Watch Rousseau here as he hits that amazing laser down the right wall. That is exactly what he did to Danny Bell earlier today.
Five, serving 5.
Kind of his version of the Andy net serve. Being a big dude has some advantages to it. There are many disadvantages, but you can kind of
Side out.
disguise your serve just a little bit, and you just get that extra step, especially with these older folk.
Five, serving 5. Side out. 5 serving 5. Point. 6 serving 5. Hold it. You all right, Dan? Okay, just gonna replay that. Score is 6 serving 5.
Score here 6-5. Andy Rousseau in the lead.
Hold it. Replay, 6 serving 5. Side out. Five serving 6.
Nice
Point.
serve there. Armijo hits that over hit serve down the right. Ball comes out pretty far. Rousseau not expecting it.
6 serving 6. Point. Seven serving 6. Side out.
Nice shot there from Rousseau. You're watching ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. Men's semifinals of the old dudes, the 40-year-olds.
Coming in at 6 serving 7. Point. Appeal in the serve. I called it good. One disagree. Both disagree. One serve coming, 6 serving 7. Both disagreed with my call. Hold it. Okay. That bounced off the door. Hey, while you're back. As long as you don't try and take the shot, and if you stop on the bad bounce, if you try and play through it, you live with the result. Danny, you check the door. Thank you.
Well, Dan's actually right on that.
Okay,
because
replaying that, 6 serving 7.
the referee had that explanation
Sure.
correct, but referee can't just take the player's word for it. Referee has to see it himself. Maybe he did, but he didn't explain it that way.
Second serve. Point. Seven serving 7. Side out. Seven serving 7. Point. Eight serving 7. see it? Bad bounce, Luis? You didn't see it? Okay, it's replay.
Yeah, that's the wrong call again from the
8
referee.
serving 7.
Unfortunate. Referee has to see it. That ball just over the line. No call.
Point.
By no call, I mean no call from Rousseau. He didn't challenge.
9 serving 7.
Perhaps he saw what I saw. 9-7.
Skip. 7 serving 9. Replay.
Rousseau hit that ball and then migrated toward the middle of the court
Bill, it was your serve.
to
or,
quote
excuse
unquote
me,
get out of the
Andy.
way of Dan Armijo.
It's a replay, 7 serving 9. Hold it. Replay, 7 serving 9. Point.
This one just keeps going back and forth here. 8-9.
8 serving 9.
Going to 25. It's a one-game match, win by 2, men's semifinal of the 40 plus.
Side out. Nine serving 8.
That should be a big setup here for Rousseau. Doesn't go for the elite kill shot. Danny kind of screened, pops the ball to the back court.
Point.
Armijo playing sort of the Muhammad Ali style and
10 serving 8.
doing what I think I would do if I were in the court. That is just, let's push Rousseau around a little bit to try to see if we can get the big guy tired. It did not work for
11
Danny
serving 8.
Bell earlier today, but
Short.
possibly could work for Danny Armijo here in the semis.
Second serve.
Nice shot there, Dan Armijo. The hand,
Timeout.
left-handed
Andy, that's
flat
your
kill
first.
shot. Timeout
1
being
minute.
called on the floor here. Rousseau takes that 1 minute timeout. You're watching the WPH Race for 8 streaming live at ESPN and the Watch ESPN app on multiple devices, not just a TV, but your handheld smart device. Able to get it on Xbox 360 at home, but I'm reading more. Xbox One even has the app that's available. I was talking to Matt Kruger at the USHA, who told me that he just went over to Xbox 360, logged in, and there came an app. So, you know, handball was on. He decided to plug it in and see, and bam, we were streaming live. And he said, I don't even recall telling them that or asking if I had a username or password. It just was playing for me. But I then made the wheels kind of turn a little bit. And I thought, you know, I think what's happening is when you first sign in with Xbox, you are telling them who your service provider is, and therefore that's what made the connection with Comcast or Cox or
Score
whatever
is 12, serving
his
8.
cable connector was, and therefore I think it worked out in that sort of
Replay.
way. But that's just another way. The Hulu
Check
Plus
ball,
and multiple devices there on your Watch ESPN app, which is kind of cool in a lot of ways. So there's people out there that are
Replaying that. 12, serving 8.
watching handball on so many different devices. At home, I watch it on the Google TV. I say the Google TV because that's how George Bush would have said it.
Side out.
Try to make sure that my life is patterned around W
8, serving 12.
as much as possible. 8 to 12 score here.
Short. Second serve.
You know, this Andy Russo is a tough character.
Andy Russo is a tremendous ball player, kind of a backyard
Side
dog. A guy who is really known throughout these
12
parts, but
serves, 8.
hasn't really traveled throughout the country.
Yeah, no, I mean, everyone knows him here. Absolutely. But he is tricky, that dude.
Point.
Andy's had a lot of knee problems, but, you know, he just keeps coming back strong. I would say probably the
13
biggest
serves,
win of
8.
his life earlier today against Danny Bell. And it has to feel even more satisfying to come back and win that match
Point.
in overtime against a
How's the
guy
floor
that
right
you've
there?
admired for so many years.
Well, everybody admires Danny Bell,
Drive.
if that's where you're going with that. I guess
That
that's
was
the
a
only
point.
person he defeated in a
14
quarterfinal
serves
match.
8.
Nice little breakaway reverse from Armijo.
I saw a slide. Yeah, saw it take off.
And Dave, there's so many people courtside, and like I said earlier, there's zero circulation or ventilation, and it's just a recipe for disaster, Dave, and I'm worried about what's going to happen in a couple hours when our Race for 8 pros take the court, because this court is like a swimming pool that just had the water drained, but on a cold day where the water doesn't go anywhere.
You ever played handball in a swimming pool?
With the water drained?
On a cold day, but without, what was the analogy?
Well, I was saying if it was a warm day and you drain the water out of the pool, the walls would probably get dry pretty
All right,
quickly.
let's do a glove
Okay.
change.
But here they don't dry at all. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Andy, see your gloves. Let's do a glove change.
That's unreal.
See yours. How
Well,
are
that's
yours,
frustrating
Andy?
because we've got 1 point until
Yeah.
halftime when that could have happened. And I think they could have played one more point before halftime. Yeah. There's a shot of Andy Russo, who's now going to take an extended break before our next extended break. So we're going to have likely 6 minutes of breaking before, or while we only play 1 point in between. We're going to welcome in our current number 3 Race for 8 pro, Emmett Peixote. Emmett, thank you for joining us, first of all.
Thank you.
I know that you're not thrilled with what happened earlier today, but you played Nani Alvarado, who's a longtime rival of yours. But I think when you look back on it, you're going to say there's nothing anybody really could have done. I mean, his serves were just outstanding. His kill shots were amazing.
Yeah.
And you never really, aside from that one stretch where you scored 6 points in a row in the second game, you never were able to really dictate play.
Yeah, I couldn't really get in any sort of rhythm. Nadi was really serving well, and I thought I was actually returning the ball fairly well off the returns, but because I was getting him in the deep court,
Yeah.
like at least 1
All
out
right,
of
scores
3.
14,
You know?
serving 8.
I agree. He hit a lot of nice high 2-wall returns, and he was attacking those. Normally, you get yourself into a rally with those kind of shots, but he was just on fire today.
Yeah, he was attacking, shooting in the corners right away, even if I put him in the deep court or up front.
I hope he plays that way against Paul Brady. I mean, I think it'd be very interesting to watch. I know that you've seen them play a number of times, and they do have great matches.
8 serving 14.
It would be amazing if not, he could just play as aggressive as he played against me today. How is Andy Russo playing?
Well, Andy had an amazing win earlier today against Danny Bell in overtime.
Wow.
Yeah,
he's got to be feeling that.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a guy happier than that, and well-deserved. Emmett, I know that you've known Andy coming to this event for the last 7 or 8 years. He's a good ball player.
Excellent.
Yeah, and it didn't surprise me.
Saw that right there. He was dictating play. He was standing in the center of the court, shooting the angles. He's trying not to let the ball go into the deep court.
9 serving 14.
Let's see how he uses this serve. This is an excellent serve, 3-wall. He's still trying to keep it. Look how he's dominating center court here. Pushing Dan back. It's a great ceiling game. Got the setup he was waiting for. Got another setup. Pushing Dan all around the court.
And how frustrating is that, Emmett, because you played on this court earlier today, and I know that the slides have to be played over, but there's so many times when there's great, I mean, that was a great shot, and there's not much Danny Armijo could have done there, but, it has to be played over because he did have a chance to return it, but it would have been a big setup had he been able to return it.
It is very frustrating for both players, but primarily for the person that hit a great shot, because even if Dan returned that, it was going to be a weak return and a setup for Andy, and it's really almost, it seems unfair,
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, there's nothing you can do about it, and you got to let it go. But it's difficult to let it go. That's an interesting serve.
I mean, I know you played in a lot of these 25-point games. It's so crucial to keep that momentum into halftime. So if you have this kind of lead, to score that 15-point, because we've seen it happen so often where guys are leading 14 to 8 or 9, and the guy comes back and catches up and maybe takes the lead at halftime, and then all of a sudden it's a totally different match.
Yes, and that's what Andy's doing here. He's really trying to keep the momentum on his side as they go into overtime. I mean, halftime. Dan usually puts those back wall shots away, and he's putting it back in the deep court again. Nice defensive play by both players. A little bit of a setup there. Oh, nice down the wall shot. Look at how they play back. This is great. Kill shot opportunity.
Point.
Wow.
Andy Russo uses the whole court. You saw it there. He had Danny going front to back and side to side, forces the air there on that right corner pinch that catches the side wall.
It's just a really interesting serve. I thought that Andy
10
was
to
serving a
14.
3-wall serve, but he's kind of lobbing it down to the right. I don't know why he's choosing that serve, but I guess he's getting a somewhat of a setup.
Slide ball.
Oh, gosh. But Dan isn't putting those setups away off the back wall like he normally does.
The back wall is a tricky thing, Emmett, as you know. There's some days when it's just so automatic, and you feel like every ball that touches the back wall is going to be a flat kill, and there's other days it feels like you're playing a different sport altogether, and you're hitting balls that you think are going to be 2 inches high and they're 2 feet high.
It's true.
Or you do what I did on match point yesterday and just completely shank a back wall setup at match point, which will haunt me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I actually saw you pull your head, which is something that you don't normally do.
10 serves 14.
Well, all that pressure, I think, you knew it was match point. You're like, oh, it's a match point, and you wanted to really roll it out flat and kill it with everything you had. And I think that extra power boost you put on it.
The pressure was actually not match point. I had shanked 2 in a row before that, and I was thinking about that.
Yeah,
and I was thinking, don't shank it again. And I did.
That makes sense too.
Yeah, it wasn't. When I got to match point, it was like a relief because I made this
14.
big comeback to get there, and then I got there and did that.
Maybe the relief made that momentum that you were building, fall away a little bit, and then the Irish kid was able to
second serve.
capitalize on that. It's just a thought. It's just an interesting serve. He's serving either a lob down the right or a
point.
3-wall serve, and it's really working. Dan doesn't know what to do.
Well, this is just so typical of what we've seen in these matches where a guy's up 14 to 9. If he gets the 15, he's completely in control of the match. But instead, you see Andy Rousseau now.
Wow.
Scoring at will now. 4 consecutive points.
Wow. Dan really tried to hit a defensive shot there. Dan is caught in between, should I go offense or defense, and it leaves him just hitting these fat setups. Oh no.
Point.
Now he's lost his confidence.
I said at that glove change at 14 to 9, we're taking a glove change to take another timeout 1 point later, but it's been now 5 points. And the next point scored will bring halftime.
I have a feeling Dan is going to get this back, and Dan is going to take the 15th point. But
I think regardless, Andy has the momentum.
Yeah, he definitely does.
Even if Danny does score the 15-point first.
14, serves 14.
Now, Emmett, we've got a cool section at halftime that you're going to be participating in. I know you're going to look forward to that.
Andy's just moving him all over the court. Here's somewhat of a setup for Dan. He decided to drive past him. He's driving him down the left. He just keeps driving him down the left and not going for a right corner kill, which is unlike Dan. He's fairly consistent with his kill shots in the right corner.
Well, it all depends on how much time he spent in Rotan. More time in Rotan, less right corner kills.
Let's see here.
More 3-wall shots.
What is that? Oh. It just appears that Dan has lost a bit of his confidence.
Side out.
Here it is.
And both these guys are tired now.
Yes, that was a really long rally. They're moving back and forth. Here comes the power serve ace.
Timeout. That's your second.
Wow. And I don't really like that, taking a timeout before, if you're tired, taking a timeout before this halftime, because you're going to get 3 minutes, and then now you've only got one timeout after the halftime break.
That's true. However, he could have been just exhausted. You know, who knows? But I agree with you. 100%.
I mean, even if you sacrifice this point, it's not really that significant, I don't think.
Who's serving it?
Dan Armijo will be serving. Right. Emmett, you're going to be on the court again in the 5th place playoffs playing against Mondo Ortiz, a guy that you've had a nice rivalry with, you know, over the last year and a half. You've beat him the last couple times you played. How do you get yourself up for that? I mean, I know you gear yourself up to win these events, and now you're, you know, playing the 5th place playoffs. But I'll tell you, if you pick up that 5th place win, you inch closer to Luis Moreno, you'll actually be only 1 point behind him in the rankings. And the difference between finishing 2nd and 3rd on the year is $9,000 and $6,000 bonus.
Yeah.
I know that you just play for the love of the game, but that would be pretty nice.
It would be enjoyable.
So basically, regardless, I think, of what happens in the
14,
playoffs,
14.
I think whoever wins between you and Luis in Salt Lake City when you play in the semifinals will take home that 2nd place bonus.
Yeah. Oh, wow, nice pass. These rallies are extremely long and grueling. Neither player really wants to kill the ball, it appears. And that is a nice...
Well, I've hit a lot of shots that were 6 feet high that I was trying to kill.
Oh, my gosh. Who knows what happened back there, but...
Well, I think Danny was happy that clipped the sidewall. He didn't want to run back and play that shot. That was just a good reason not to go.
14.
You'd say that Armijo would be the favorite here with Andy so tired, but I think Danny's also tired.
Yes, he is. And he's playing very cautious.
Conservatively, yeah.
Point.
And now we go to halftime. Andy Rousseau scores the last 6 points.
Amazing
And then
play.
we've got a fun little segment that we're doing here with a lot of the pro players. It's 5 questions. Emmett Pichotte, thank you for joining us once again. Now, if there was one player, past or present, that you could beat on the handball court, who would it be?
don't understand the question. I mean, who would it be? Like, who
would
I
you
want
like
to be?
Yeah, who would you want to beat in a match?
Paul Brady.
Okay.
Definitely.
If there was a movie made about you, who would star you?
It's a very interesting question that you're asking.
Oh.
What is this? What is this?
This is Kara Mack on the street. I'm actually stealing her thunder right now because you're here in the booth, and I thought, we could take care of this right now.
Who would play me?
Yeah.
I think Jim London.
Okay. If you weren't playing handball, you would blank. You would be doing.
I'd be reading.
Okay. But that's a good answer. Okay. But what else would you be doing with your life?
Oh, with my life?
Yeah.
Well, I'd be a professor, a university professor, most likely.
You do have your master's degree from Boston College.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations on that.
Thanks.
Moving on, though. What's your favorite thing to do before a handball match to prepare for a match?
What is my routine
Yeah,
or my favorite thing?
I've seen you with your bowling pins.
Yes, my bowling pins.
I've seen that, but
that's my favorite thing to do, actually.
Okay, so the bowling pins.
Yeah, that's just for fun. It just actually doesn't really warm me up.
Okay, I didn't think it did. Okay, so the bowling pins.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like to listen to music.
Yeah.
And others lie down.
I have bowling pins, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, you're sponsored by the Olympic Club, and they just had an amazing tournament. What's your favorite handball tournament?
The Olympic Club was a great tournament. I'd have to say that's up there. I really like the Denver Athletic Club as well. Those are fantastic tournaments. I used to like the Coney Island one-wall tournament a lot. I don't know. There's a lot to pick from. Those are up there, all three of those I mentioned.
Okay, one last question before we go to Kara, who has Colin Crehan. Who is the oddest player in handball on the tour?
I'd have to say it's David Fink.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Emmett, by virtue of that answer, you're now kicked out of the booth. We are going to go to Kara Mack now. Emmett, thank you very much for stopping by. Mm-hmm. Good luck in your 5th place final. Kara.
Hey, Dave, they're going to come right back out on the court, so we're going to catch up with Colin after this match, all right?
Wow. Kara, I think we can go ahead and go to Colin right now. That every one of these rallies is about 50 shots. So I think if we miss 1 or 2 of those,
all right.
we'll be willing to sacrifice those.
I'm going to snag him then. Hold on just 1 second.
This is halftime of the first men's senior race for 8 semifinals. Andy Rousseau coming back from a 14-9 deficit and taking the halftime lead 15-14 over top-seeded Dan Armijo. That was Emmett Pichot joining us in the booth, our number 3 ranked pro, who unfortunately lost in the quarterfinals for the first time this season. And now Kara is ready with our young phenom, Colin Green. Kara.
I am ready. I've tracked him down. We've had him upstairs, downstairs, trying to get him. This is Colin. All right, Colin, we played some fun games with the players before, but I want to talk to you a little bit because this is your first pro tournament. What has it been like for you?
It's been so much fun. So much fun. There's so much energy out here. There's a good vibe around the course. I just love it here. I don't know. Probably owe that to playing well.
I see you taking notes and just watching these guys out here who are twice your age. What have you learned from these guys out there?
Learn from them. Well, they can still move at their age. So hope I'll be able to move at that age. But no, they're good. They're good hustlers. They don't give up.
18 years old in here. What has been the response from all the other handball players? 19 now. Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
19, yeah.
I'll give you that year. What has the response been from all the other guys who have more experience than you?
They've actually been very kind. They're so friendly. Nearly every single one of them has come up to me and introduced themselves. Because I were a little bit quieter, I probably wouldn't have had the guts to do that. So no, they've been really nice and really encouraging.
Obviously know about Paul Brady, also from Ireland.
Yeah.
What is the hype about him as you coming here as well, being kind of the younger guy coming in from Ireland?
Well, I guess he's the number one. I don't think anyone would expect me to take him out or anything like that. But no, like everyone loves him. Everyone really worships him at this stage.
Have you learned anything from him?
Yeah, like he's just a phenomenal player. Like he's got everything that like any player would want. I guess I actually played against him in doubles before. You probably see a lot more and learn a lot more. He's got like every shot in the game. He can even spike it like a one-waller, something I never thought he could do. So that was kind of crazy.
The collegiates were 2 weeks ago. You decided not to go to the collegiates, to come here instead. Why? And are you glad now?
I'm thrilled. I came here, even though I heard it was so much fun down in over in Portland. But yeah, I obviously had to choose one.
He runs out of
I couldn't
timeouts
fund
and becomes
both.
technicals.
And miss college at the same time, I guess.
All right, so ready for the game? 5 questions. He's a little nervous here. It's really easy, I promise. All right. Just fill in the blanks. Ready? The best thing to do before any handball match is?
To visualize.
There you go. Okay. And if you could beat anyone past or present, not even a handball player, but someone on that court, who would you want to beat?
I got to charge you 2 timeouts. You're way over.
That's obvious, Paul Brady. That's obvious.
Someday?
Okay. I've been yelling
Yeah,
for the
one
last
day.
5 minutes.
One day. If he doesn't retire before.
All right.
If you didn't play handball, what would you be doing?
1 per minute.
I guess.
All right, we're coming back in at
I guess we'd
15,
play hurling
serving
at
14.
home. I still play hurling, but I guess I'd be playing hurling.
Awesome. And if a movie was made about handball and you, who would be you in the movie?
If I got to do a cameo.
Nice. All right. So he wants to. So a couple people have said they want to star themselves. And describe handball in 5 words.
In a sentence?
Sure.
No.
Only 5
All right.
words.
Oh, 5 words.
That's
Okay.
all right.
Let me think. No, that's I'll just go with single words. It's fun. It's energetic. It's intriguing. It's exciting. Yeah, they're the same words. And I guess it's
14, serving 15.
I don't know.
We can take those as different words.
Well, yeah. I guess there's so many opportunities. So many opportunities out there.
So in general, what do you love most about the sport?
Traveling. Like no other, very few sports you can get to come and travel to all these countries, especially to America.
We've enjoyed having you here. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
And good luck. Talk to you guys.
Thank you, Kara. Didn't miss much here. I mean, just some crazy rallies, and we're still now here 15 to 15. We did miss a little bit of that banter from the referee giving Danny Armijo basically a technical, saying that you just lost your timeouts.
Well, Danny has to be frustrated because he led 14-9, seemingly just on his way to an easy first round lead.
Hold it.
And Andy Rousseau scored the final 6 points. It took about 20 minutes. But Danny Armijo just refused to go for the kill shot. I don't know if he lost his confidence in it, but he just was hitting the ball 8 to 10 feet high.
Replay, 16, serving 15.
And now he scored 3 points. He's got to be thinking to himself, I couldn't have scored one of these before halftime.
Yeah, really weird.
17, serving 15.
Kind of an interesting thing with Danny losing his timeouts for coming into the court late, but yet Andy's the one that needs the timeouts because he's gassed.
Well, Danny Armijo looked gassed
18, serving 15.
at the end of that first half, and now he looks completely refreshed. And
well, that taking a 5-minute, 6-minute, 3-minute timeout between games will do that for you.
Andy Rousseau looked like he was on the treadmill during that halftime because he's come back in completely exhausted. So maybe they have different recovery techniques at the half.
My recovery technique at halftime is not to come in to the second half.
Get on the elevator.
Yeah, just
check the ball.
Come up with some obscure rule.
Yeah.
Don't get them back into the court. You can recover well
18,
that way.
Serving 15. Side out.
That's a nice little left-handed kill there.
And Dave, as a handball fanatic that you are, it has to just kind of kill you
15,
to see these
serving
guys
18.
in here that are right in your strike zone.
Point.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Tough to swallow.
16, serving 18.
Really do want to be in there hitting the ball, but can't do it.
Side out.
I chose that for Lent. No handball, so.
18, serving 16.
I know you chose not combing your hair. I actually went with
no handball. Something I knew that I felt like it was really going to be tough.
Point.
And Dave, I think you know the feeling. I'm not singling you out, but when you're just totally exhausted in there,
16.
and just everything, even the most simple shot, just seems like it's just more effort than you can muster.
Point. Timeout. That's your last.
Yeah, it's so deflating. And I know that it's very similar to when you have a back spasm. It's very similar to sort of the mentality or the mental state that you're in when you're gassed and you're out of air and you're playing and you still are kind of competing and you're holding your own and you're coming back and tying the score, and then they go on with a 3-point run and you just have a bad back, sort of the same thing, a back spasm where you, Dave, I know you have those where you just set, you know you can do it, but you can't do it, and it's, but yet you're still scoring points, and it's.
See, I don't want to make this about me, but I think what I have are not back spasms because I cannot actually hit one shot once my back goes up.
You've won matches before when you've had this problem.
I've never.
Houston?
No, I just stopped playing.
All right, score is 20, serving 16.
Actually, just whatever the score is, I just stop. I've had to forfeit matches when I've won the first game and been up in the second game and just had to stop playing. So I guess that's a spasm. I don't.
This should be a back wall kill shot from Armijo. Tries to blast it by Andy.
Andy started as a one-wall player, Dave, and just said, you know, I got into four-wall, and I just like it a lot more.
$16, serving 20.
And that's a tired shot there.
20, serving 16.
20 to 16, you heard the score.
Side out.
Surprised we didn't see an argument there from the hand. That's right in his wheelhouse.
I think he's out of breath. It's hard to argue when you're tired.
But you would say, if he wasn't tired, that would have been in his wheelhouse.
16, serving 20.
Oh, yeah.
To argue.
That's a first-round argument there.
Yeah.
Not necessarily your third round or, I mean, it's almost like we're playing at elevation for some of these guys. I like how Rousseau leans into Armijo there to try to get something, but that's also another rule of thumb. I'm trying to see if we can talk to USHA about, you know, when you have a 40-year-old ref and you get one of these hot young pro guys to, excuse me, when you have a 40-year-old, 45, 50 masters, get some of the young hot pro guys to referee because they're not going to put up with some of that lean-in stuff, and I'm going to call a hinder here.
Side out.
I think the USHA would kind of dig that a little bit, some of their master tournaments, seeing the young pro referee, you know, one of the master, the 45, the 50-year-old singles, because you saw there that Rousseau is going to try to pull some of that little antics that you see in practice
16, sir,
that the 50-yeolds do down at the club when they get those hinders that are not really hinders, where they lean in and try to get a call. I think a 50-year-old or older will actually call that as a referee. But someone like JT Hingy is like, nah, no, that's not going to work here.
20, serve 16.
You know, that normal defensive stuff that Armijo does to all the other players just isn't really working with Andy. Armijo's going to have to go offense, and when he does, he's dipping it in the ground. And we've seen Dan Armijo go offense, and it's just unbeatable for some of these 40-year-old guys. But Armijo has this knack of keeping the ball into play, and it makes you tired. And we can clearly see that Rousseau's tired, but he's also not going away.
Point. 17, serves 20.
Oh, I like that, finally.
Side out.
That's why he's the #1 seed, Dave. I mean, 38-foot rope that hugged the right wall.
20, serve 17. Slide. Slide. Hold it. Yep. I called it. No, the ball slid. He fell trying to react to it sliding. Replay, 20 serve 17.
You know, the older guys don't have great hearing, so Dan actually stopped that in about the time that it would happen.
Side out.
Danny now has missed 2 right-hand setups from the short line.
Yeah, 3 actually.
Yeah. Well, in this match, it's actually 16, but
who's counting? I mean,
well, I am. Those are just right-hand setups.
17 serves 20.
Dave, who's on this court next? I don't know if there's been
Side out.
any changes.
well, and this match will never end, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's
20 serves
Andy
17.
Nett and Sean Lenning are next, followed by Paul Brady and Nadia Alvarado. All the players were notified a couple of hours ago, and they didn't respond until a couple minutes ago. So now they all know, and change has been made.
Point.
Wasn't going to make a change until all the players actually agreed. They agreed, and they're happy about it.
21 serves 17.
What was the change, to reverse the order?
Well, to put the
Replay.
other 50s, or excuse me, the other 40 soon-to-be 50s seniors on the other side court. Everybody agreed wholeheartedly, oddly enough. But it weren't going to make a change
Replay,
until everybody said that they would. Not going to do it unless everybody agrees. Everybody agreed.
Point.
But it took a while to get that agreement.
22 serves 17.
Had to personally track some players down. You know, Nadi was ironing his clothes, so that was difficult.
Side out.
Armijo 3 points away from ending this match. Somehow I feel it's going to go another 30 minutes.
17 serves 22. Side out.
And look at that crazy party ball. Armijo hits the left wall,
22 serves
then the
17.
right wall, then the front wall?
Yeah.
Okay. Off the back wall, though.
Yeah, that wasn't on purpose. That was. And there's another point now, 23-17. So just for the record, because I know our broadcast crew is
17.
listening, men's semifinals of the pros coming up next. Watkins and Shad on a side court already, and that ball sounded like it broke when Danny just smacked that low. Now we're at match point. That means Andy Nett and Sean Lenning will be up next in about 10 minutes if Armijo were to score here. A lot of power there, and there it is. Armijo closes it out, and we'll be in the finals to face either Andy Shad or Chris Watkins. We're going to take a break. We're going to have more handball action in about 10 minutes as Andy Nett and Sean Lenning will be up next. Stick around here on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app.
Are you getting this, honey?
Oh, prime time. We are rolling.
All right, Mama's gonna bring it home. Mama's gonna bring it home. Okay.
Come on, watch this guy.
Oh, backwards.
Oh, don't. Oh.
It went into Bob and Carol's yard. Oh, no? Okay, here it goes.
Oh, Mom!
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
All right, let's see what you can do. Let's go.
They might surprise you. Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education. So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour to show them that higher education means a brighter future.
My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.